Messages to younger officers. Number 1, it's okay to love your agency. However, avoid the rookie mistake of thinking your agency will love you back. Number 2, no officers ever retire from law enforcement with their professional virginity still intact. Something to think about. We're only as free as the police allow us to be free, which, more often than not, is determined by the officer's mood at the time. Quick intermission time. At the street level, what do you feel is the most common police abuse of power issue facing the American people today? Is it 1, unlawful vehicle stops, 2, writing bogus tickets, 3, lack of discretion, or 4, unlawful demands for identification? There's no wrong answer, of course, but I'd like to know what your perceptions are, and I think a lot of it's tied to the YouTube videos that we watch. In my opinion, hands down, it's number 4, unlawful demands for identification. It's lazy law enforcement, it's dangerous law enforcement, but it works so effectively. I often wonder why they even go through a police academy. Well, other than learn how to shoot and tase and make unlawful detentions and arrests and how to lie in court and on reports. And let's face it, an officer who's determined to get their hands on a person's identification, and I'm talking unlawfully, not lawfully, well, they're going to win. And they're going to win every time. Guaranteed every time. Mostly it's bulletproof and idiot-proof. You can't do anything to prevent the arrest. And even if you verbally object to it, oh, now you're going to go into that report as belligerent and uncooperative, and the corrupt local prosecutor, well, yeah, we're going to go and we're going to stack on a couple more charges just to show them who the boss is. When an officer says you got to do something, you got to do it.
If I tell you to do something, you better be doing it.
In the officer's mind, this is all justified because they were trained that, you know what, everybody has an outstanding arrest warrant until they prove to us that they don't. Here comes the little pocket notebook. Okay, what's your name? What's your date of birth? I need your name and date of birth. Are you refusing to give me your name and date of birth? Okay, turn around. And off you go to a cage. Your job may be affected. You're out money. There are all sorts of repercussions. A ruined life. But they found out you didn't have any warrants, and that made it all worthwhile. There are going to be 0 repercussions. 0. The fix is in, my friends. The fix is in. Let's talk a little more about this give me ID or else phenomenon that's going on all over the country, courtesy of contemporary American law enforcement. You're walking down the sidewalk, a beautiful day, getting fresh air, holding on to your little cockatoo, you know, you love your little cockatoo, and all of a sudden, here come a couple of cop cars screaming up, and they jump out, and it's like, we need your ID, give us ID, give us ID. You're like, well, what do you mean? There's no reasonable suspicion or probable cause. Oh, yeah, what was it, Charlie, like 10, 12 years ago? Yeah, about 6 blocks down, there was somebody who slashed the tires on an old Ford Edsel. How do we know you're not coming back to finish the job? Now break out your ID. Section 26, Rights of the Oathbreakers, Part 2, everything you want to know about cops unlawfully demanding ID, saying Auf Wiedersehen to the 4th Amendment. Or, as my friend Gilder Bunch-Schlottenhoff likes to say,
Abschied vom 4. Verfassungszusatz.
Yeah, she said, Abschied vom 4.
Abschied vom 4. Verfassungszusatz.
Exactly. That's exactly what I would have said. This block of information is immediately below the section title for Section 26. What is the difference between the Nazi Gestapo checking the identity papers of innocent Jews during World War II and civilian law enforcement of today checking the identity papers of innocent citizens? 80 years, more or less. It's only the time between then and now. Otherwise, it's exactly the same. They're going after our papers, and law enforcement doesn't give a shit. The original video that I watched was on Lackluster's channel, and I'm going to make sure that I link that original in the description section, but don't run off. Even though the 100% of you have already seen it, don't run off. I'm only going to show the 2 minutes where the heroes in blue beat up the dad out walking on the 4th of July at 5:30 in the morning with his 6-year-old autistic child, as they did basically as part of a routine. So I'm going to show that, but only that, and then I'm going to move into the conclusion.
A second officer arrives on scene to ensure that the boy never trusts a stranger ever again.
All right, what's your name, sir? Johnny. Johnny. All right. All right, Johnny, where you come from?
Just walking around.
Just walking around?
Yeah.
All right, enjoying this weather?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, we're checking up on you, man. You know?
Just walk around. What the heck is this deal?
Found it a little bit suspicious, you know. So, just walking around.
Walking around is a little bit suspicious?
I mean...
Actually, go ahead.
Technically, not really, but I mean, it is pretty early in the morning. Just wondering what was going on.
That's what we do. We get up early in the morning. You got your ID on you? What do I need an ID for? Because I just asked you for it. I don't need that to show my ID. Okay, if you don't give me your ID, I'm going to take you to jail for failure to identify, because I've identified that you've been walking around down here at 5:30 in the morning. Yeah, we do that. No, you're not. Give me your ID. I don't have my ID on me because it's at the house.
For some anti-American reason, this untrained officer believes that it's his right to identify anyone that decides to take a walk at 5:30 a.m. and for no other reason.
Okay, what's your name and date of birth?
Huh?
What's your name and date of birth?
I don't know, but you can't run. I don't have. This is a state where I don't have to show my ID.
Turn around.
You're gonna do this in front of my son?
Yeah, turn around.
Are you serious?
Yeah, turn
this
around.
This is my son. Let me bring my son home first.
No, turn around now.
Bro, you need to... Here, let me videotape this real quick. I want this on video. What are you doing to my son? Bro, this is f***ed up. Son, it's okay, okay? It's good. Bro, I promise you, you're gonna pay for this.
You think?
Yeah, I promise you that. We're walking around. There's nothing suspicious. I've done nothing criminal. I don't have my ID on me. I told you that.
The officer pushes himself up, using Johnny's back, intentionally grinding the gravel into his sternum.
And what did I tell you?
And you just slammed me on the ground because I was trying to record. What are you rolling me on the ground for? Dude, this is ridiculous. Man, look what you're doing to my fucking son. There's my phone right there, too. Dude, I can't even believe you're doing this to my son because he was walking around.
Hope you like my ID Junkie. He's one of probably 7 or 8 illustrations I did myself and included in Rise of the Oathbreakers Part 2. There's something else that I included in Rise of the Oathbreakers Part 2, and it can be found toward the back of the book. And in fact, it has something to do with cops demanding ID when there's no element of a crime, just like we saw in the video. Here, I'll show you what I mean. I may not have found a cure for cancer, and we're talking about the cancer police demanding identification from innocent people. But I certainly came up with a treatment for it. And the treatment can be found in the back pages of Rise of the Oathbreakers Part 2. In fact, it's right there. It's right there in front of us. Only this time I'm not going to share the cure. I'm not going to share the treatment. If you want to learn about it, you're going to have to buy the book.